What is NLP? NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming. It's very simple. You program your brain, using your lingo, the language that you use for yourself, the language that you use to describe the world. It's the communication you have with yourself, meaning your thoughts. So here is a simple model that you can use to think about it. This is something I use all the time with my clients, just to simply lay the land and understand a simple concept of what is NLP. Your brain is a hardware. We do not choose our hardware. We are all born with certain genetic limitations. And that genetic limitations, they impose limitations of the intellectual capacity. So some of us are more gifted than others, and this is just blind luck. We are born into this body, we are born into this brain, and we're also born into certain families, certain circumstances, certain environment. They condition us in a way, right? But so brain is your hardware. We do not really define the capacity of the hardware. However, we can make the best use of it. You treat the brain right, and you can increase the capacity. You can expand its capacity. You can actually become smarter through exercise, for example. When you work out, you can develop your brain. When you meditate, you develop your brain. You have a practice of gratitude, you develop your brain. You eat the right food, you develop your brain. You treat the brain right, and it will treat you right by functioning properly. Your mind is the operating system. It's quite literally a system of thinking that is operating your life. All these deepest programs, beliefs, paradigms, again, as we talked, conditioning that was first imposed and absorbed from the family, from society, from school, and then later on you grow up and the mind develops itself because you're developing it intentionally through the leaders you follow, podcasts, information you absorb, content, books you read, experiences you live, and all that jazz. Your language is the programming language. This is the language you use to communicate with yourself. It's literally the language that you're using to program or reprogram your mind. So it's very important to be very careful with the communication that you exercise. Be mindful of the words that you speak, because when you speak them, they reveal the code to the mind. Be self-aware, observe the language that you utilize for yourself, for describing the world, for describing your experiences and the lessons that you derive from these experiences. Your language is the key towards understanding yourself. The language itself is programming you in a certain way. If you're an English speaker, it brings you a certain mentality, it brings you the culture. Whatever language you're learning, for example, my mother tongue is Russian, it also brings you this culture, this conditioning of the whole culture, the philosophy, the underlying beliefs, the programs they run through centuries. This kind of language is the programming language, and you program your operating system through it. Next, your beliefs are applications. They can be installed, uninstalled, or upgraded. So the applications for your beliefs that are running in your mind, they define your behavior, which in turn defines your experiences. Your experience in turn shapes your beliefs. It's a loop. You think of something, after that it creates, your thoughts create emotional state. This emotional state drives your behavior. Behavior drives your experience. And this new experience brings new thoughts. So that creates a loop, a constant loop. Thoughts, emotions, behavior or action, experience, new thoughts. So this can become, for many people, a trap, because many people would live in in a very reactive state. Some stuff happens, some external event happens. It is instantly processed in a certain way in the mind, in a very automatic way. Then it creates emotional state. State creates certain action, very reactive action, not well thought through action. And that creates new experience and it perpetuates itself. This is why awareness is the key. So the brain is the hardware, the mind is the operating system, the language is the programming language, beliefs are the applications. You, in this framework, you are a software developer. You are the one who is writing the code for the mind, and you are also the code itself. It's very interesting. You write the code, but because of the mind and the way it operates, you are the code itself. The programs that you write or the programs that have been written for you are running within you, driving your systems of thinking, which drive the systems of feeling, with like emotional and inner states, which then create your behavior and the way you live your life, your habits, your routines, your rituals, your daily systems, and then outcomes and results. What is a coach? A coach is a QA, is a debugger. So my job as a coach is to pressure test the code and to see if it breaks. First, what we do, especially if we are in a session, is to bring that code to the light of your awareness. Because sometimes some of the programs that are run within the mind, they run in a blind spot. They run at the level of unconsciousness. And our job together is to bring that code, is to bring all these invisible programs into the light of your awareness and then start pressure testing this code and see if it breaks. If I find and point out the errors in the code, I will challenge the code and I will help my clients to upgrade or update the source code or install or uninstall the apps, the beliefs. So coaching, in a sense, it's an update of the operating system. Or think of it as a disk defragmentation, right? So you know how your computer, if you're on Windows or Mac OS, it gives you prompts that you need to update your system. Yes, it takes some time. It might take an hour, but the whole system will run faster as a result. So coaching process is this constant operating system update because your old beliefs, old applications, some kind of programs, they have been outdated. As you would outgrow your old clothes as you grow up and your body grows bigger, your mind grows bigger. But these beliefs that are formed earlier in life and no longer serving you, they need to also grow with you, which means they need to be either uninstalled, they're no longer working for you, or they need to be upgraded. What is meditation? Meditation is going deep to the kernel level. When the operating system shuts down, what is still running one level deeper? Is there something else going on when the mind goes quiet? This is the heart and the core of the coaching, at least the way I see it, and again, the heart and the core of my coaching. Self-awareness, spiritual intelligence, understanding that you are not the thoughts and understanding that you are not the mind, grounding yourself in that understanding. And through that understanding, working on the mind. You cannot effectively work on the mind if you believe that you are the mind. You are not the operating system. You are a software developer. You can be aware of the code. You can be aware of all these programs. And after you're aware of them, you can start working on them, debugging them, pressure testing them, and uninstalling the stuff that doesn't work and installing the stuff that you want. Engineering your identity. Engineering your identity in the very true sense of this world. So, as with any special applications that you would take care of the health of your PC, there's an application for disk defragmentation, or there is an application for like an antivirus. So you have all these things on your computer, like antivirus, disk defrag, or space cleaner. In a similar way, I have created this course, which is self-coaching course, Path to Clarity, which is a collection of tools which you can install into your own mind and run your own diagnostics and run your own debugging. Of course, this toolbox will never be a full substitute for coaching. This is not the intention. The intention is to get you started in this direction, and you can achieve a lot, truly, if you're serious, if there is a sincere desire to transform. One can take all this toolbox and implement it and get pretty far. And if there is a blocker there, you know that you cannot get to the next level without external help. This is where you call a professional, a QA, a debugger. Hope this makes sense. This is what NLP is all about. Good luck to you studying this.